The podcast you are listening to of Holmberg's Morning Sickness is brought to you by my friends at Eric's Family Barbecue in Avondale. Meet, mesquite, repeat. Trust me on this one. You've had barbecue before, but you haven't had it this good. Eric's Family Barbecue in Avondale, ericsfamilybbq.com.
When was the last time you had really good Texas-style barbecue? Eric's Family Barbecue, the way it's supposed to taste. Always delicious, never rushed, and prepared to perfection. Eric's Family Barbecue uses only 100% fresh meat, slowly smoked over mesquite wood until it's juicy and delicious. We all know their brisket is the best, but have you tried their pulled pork, pork ribs, or rib tips? Amazing, and their sides are all house-made. Eric's Family Barbecue in Avondale. Meet, mesquite, repeat. Make the trip. You won't be sorry. Go to ericsfamilybbq.com for more information.
A little bit of everything. I do some singing, some dancing, some chatting with the guests, the skits, the monologues, the comedy.
Holmberg's Morning Sickness.
Wonderful comedy.
It really is a lot of fun.
Good morning, everybody. Hello there. Welcome to Thursday. It's the Morning Sickness. Hi, it's 5:45. My name's John Holmberg. There's Brady Bogan, Brett Festley, Big Dick Toledo, and we're off and running already. Closing in on the weekend, which ain't so bad at all.
The evenings are getting very nice.
It's really starting. Don't start it, Brady.
Oh, thanks, pal.
What did he just do? What did he just do? He gave us a week.
Screwed us.
You blew it. You blew it. This is the annual stupid conversation that people in the city have. Yes, it is.
All good.
And in 2 weeks, when you're like, I can't believe it, it's October, it's 105 degrees outside. Don't want to hear it.
I'll just say it was gorgeous this morning when I went out to the car.
Lovely outside
great, yes.
when the sun's not up. Yeah. We know that. Shut up about how it's getting better. We all know it's not.
I got a bet on it, so...
You got a little FanDuel on that? Oh, man, this
Yep.
guy's got trouble. He's Arch Schleister. Something's happened to him. Yeah, and then the heat thing. My first thing I want to say is congratulations. There's two sides to this. Mesa High School got evacuated yesterday. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah.
All 3,000 of those gang members at Mesa High School were evacuated. I went to Dobson. I cannot like Mesa and joke about it. You're all gang members. That's why. And you're laughing. You're kind of like, he's right.
Oh, absolutely.
Am I right?
Oh,
Mesa's
yeah.
a bunch of gang. You may not know that, Brady, but the
Mesa and Westwood.
Well, Westwood, I don't know if they're
their own gang.
I don't even know if they can afford to be gang members. I know it's like the knives are too expensive. Mesa is gang members. I remember it. I don't know if that's changed at all, but when I went to Dobson, it was like if you get close to Mesa High, just turn around. They're like the Oakland Raiders of high schools in the East Valley.
That's true.
Don't
actually.
wear your gear. Don't wear anything that says Dobson on it. They'll knife you. They were a scary group. Well, anyway, they got a bomb threat or some device yesterday, and that 3,000 students booted, standing outside, 8:30 in the morning. So I got to hand it to these little crooked individuals because by 10, they're heat exhaustion. One of them had the bright idea to start acting like the heat was getting. It's 10 in the morning. You're from this city, standing outside. You weren't doing anything. You weren't exerting anything. You were just sitting out there. You're 16, 17 years old. They start acting like they're going out. Then like 40 of them. And they're like, you brilliant little bastards. They ship them over to like other high schools.
They brought in buses,
Oh, they brought in
right?
buses to get them out of there. Oh, we got to get these kids out. These precious little angels are too fragile to sit outside
Emergency.
in 90-degree weather this long while there's a bomb in there. So they moved them like, I don't know, just send them home because you don't want to send Mesa jackrabbits out and about when their parents are at their second job trying to figure out how to do it.
Convenience store shelves will be wiped out.
Oh, my God. The whole area would be just robbed. Toledo, your kid went to Mountain View, and they all came to your school. They had to be...
Yeah, both boys.
I don't know
they
what
got
I'd...
locked down in their own classes.
Of course. The Mesa Jackrabbits are there. I wouldn't know what I'd want more, a bomb threat or the entire student body of Mesa High School over at my school. I'd be like, all right, kids, we're not going anywhere. The Jackrabbits are nearby.
So Alex was mad because he was like, yeah, Dad, they fed them first, and then when we went, we didn't have anything left.
But hand it to them because they're brilliant. They pretended they were having heat strokes like by the dozens. And if anybody wants to call and go, it's real, then your kids are too fragile to be out on this planet. Because if you can't stand outside, then American kids are too fat and lazy to be alive. Because standing out it's 9 in the morning, it must be 92 degrees out. I'm going out. And then
For reference, this morning at 9 a.m., it's going to be 88.
Right. It's beautiful.
88.
It's what you do on the beach.
Right.
You stand in it. Sometimes it gets over into the 90s. If you're too out of shape to be in the sun in the morning for a couple hours.
Plus, they were underneath the football stands,
Look,
John.
They were
in
protected.
the shade.
They're smart. The gang members are.
Right.
They're not book smart, but they'll figure out how to scam the system. And
Future politicians right there at Mesa High.
They're the ones. I used to be a gang member at Mesa High. Now I want to be your city councilman. So I just had to tip my cap to those kids. That's exactly what we'd have done at Dobson. Try to load us out there onto the thing. One of us would have been like, watch this. Oh. And they know that the teachers have no chance of going, shut the up. It's 88 degrees. Toughen up. You can't do it because if one kid's really suffering from something, then but they had like 40 or 50 of them just start acting like the heat was cooking them. And I'm like, you pansy-ass geniuses. But anyway, those kids out there. And credit to the Mesa School District also for not letting that particular group of kids loose. Because when I hear, if I had a friend who said, "Oh, my kid goes to Mesa," I would go into like 360 defense mode. I'm going to get stabbed any minute now. He's coming from some direction. That boy's got a knife.
Get him on the buses.
Those Mesa Jackrabbits have knives. They have knife training class at Mesa. How to stab a civilian. It's true. That's true. I know that for sure.
Is that an elective or is that?
No, it's requirement. It's a required
okay.
class. You can't get through that. It isn't like auto shop. It's not an elective. That is part of it. Math.
Darn it.
Reading and stabbing.
We used to make them in metal class, but that's all.
That was just to keep any of the other kids of color away from your high school. You guys were afraid that at any given time now you would be
kids of color.
You
go to school in Montana.
Yeah, look, Brady got Montana
Kid of color.
Kid of color. I've been to Brady's hometown. Nuh-uh.
Well,
the Golden Bears should be called the Lily White Golden Bears, and they know it, and they keep it that way. I didn't realize Columbus was when I was there. Was so divided, and that by a freeway where half the city is the urban population, the other half is Brady's.
That's where the
Brady's
POCs
family.
go to school?
Well, they just don't go over and neither shall pass. It's like, it's the Midwest. My neighborhood, there's a city called Munster. The north side of that is Gary, and south of that is a bunch of redneck hillbillies, and neither of them really cross into the other. There's a couple cities, and you start getting into that. It's like, why don't you get south there, man? Get past Munster, go home.
Seems to be a pattern in Ohio, because when I was in Ottawa Hills was that way.
Oh, yeah. Oh, every city.
There's a suburb in
Hills?
every city.
Everywhere's
It's like a Bronx Tale. You can't go past the subway tracks.
That's right.
Okay.
Unless you're going to date that hot girl who can't act.
That's true.
'Cause that's the only thing that would make it worth it. And then Molotov cocktails start floating around. Kids die. That's Mesa High
That's
School.
Mesa High.
Mesa High. So Mesa High is the other side of the Bronx Tale. Only it's just Mesa. It's 3,000 Mason kids. And I don't know how the Mormons escaped going to Mesa. They found other schools to go to, but Mesa High always scared me. Just the mere mention of it is horrifying. But I got
Made Mountain View.
They ship them all up to Mountain View.
Yeah, Mountain View was the Mormons. That's right. Yeah,
Mormon View is what it's called.
that's right. But
So
yeah.
are they going today? I wonder.
I think they got the scary device out.
In the heat.
well,
you might
They said
have
they
to
didn't
take
find a device. It was just a phone call.
No, they did.
They found something eventually?
It was a
Backpack, right?
Wii remote with like a couple of wires attached to it. Like it was crude, but they did find something, but it wasn't a device.
Man.
So there's two kids actually that they're trying. But there are, like Chris knows a bunch of kids in Mesa, and this probably feeds into your theme here.
They've stabbed
They're
Chris.
like, listen, something's going on. We're not going to school today.
Yeah, there were rumors on the internet.
Yeah.
I remember when they used to do that to us at Dobson. And Rhodes, too. It's like they would tell us. Everyone needs to evacuate to the safety area. There's been a bomb scare. The kids are like,
Really?
Whoa. Oh, they would tell us every time. So somebody called in a bomb threat. We're all going to have to stand outside within 100 feet of the school and watch the school blow up.
Doesn't that
They had
just
no
teach
plan.
the jackasses to do that?
Exactly. So we figured it out. I think my friend Todd Linkus made about 20 calls. Todd blew up the fire thing once and pulled the alarm on it there. And
Don't they have ink on them?
Like a squid. Yeah, and turned his hand black. And firefighters came and yelled at Todd.
At Upper Arlington, they would make an announcement, whether it's morning or afternoon, but it would just be over the general thing. Yeah. Person of color is approaching the building.
We're going to all have to lock down. It looks like we've got
The air raid side going off.
somebody from south of the freeway is nearby. Yeah, it was, but they do that, and I never understood that. I'm like, well, we're within like 80 feet. If the bomb goes off,
We're screwed.
we're just all in a pile. If anything, a smart person who wants to bomb the kids would put it out in the field where we all stood for safety, and then call in a bomb threat.
Yeah.
And then you blow up all the kids because we all stood in a gaggle. Like we were all kind of in different spaces,
Moving them.
and then like,
shift.
all right, all of you stand in one spot now. It's like, that's smart. It's like the night before, you just go dig a hole and you put. Look, I'm not telling you how to do your job, but if you're a bomber, the place to do it is this stupid spot where they put us all. If you're going to do like Mesa, evidently they go put them on the football field. All right, that's where we put the thing. Stupid.
I'm just glad they didn't put them to Dobson because that's by my house.
Yeah,
I
that
don't
would
want
have
those
been
Mesa Jackrabbits
oh my
over
God.
my house.
They start seeing Dobson Ranch and
Oh.
man, we haven't hit this area. In a
I
while.
know.
Yeah, we got on the night of graduation. The night of graduation, night before graduation, my friend Chris Wellick and I were driving in his dad's. I believe it was a Buick Park Avenue. The Park Avenue.
Oh,
was made by
yeah.
Buick. Very nice.
Sweet.
Same chassis as the Oldsmobile 98 Regency Bro.
Yes.
And I believe later the La Sabra was a very similar. We had his Park Avenue. We're driving around, not drinking, just being outside. And we went by a house that had a Mesa Jackrabbits flag in front of it. So the people who were there, like, if you still have your high school flag in front of your house after you graduate, you're like the biggest loser on the planet. So he's got a Mesa Jackrabbits flag in his front yard, and it was in Dobson territory. And we drove by, and I'll never forget rolling the window down. This is the single most bigoted story I've got, by the way, and I didn't do it. Rolled the window down because this girl was standing there. She was pretty. And it was like 1:30 in the morning, and rolled the window down. And Chris says, "How you doing, baby?" Because he didn't know what he was doing. And he goes, "How you doing, baby?" And you just hear, "Who do you think you're talking to?" I look over, and there's like 6 guys just sitting in the driveway garage area. And they got really mad. And Chris said something, didn't sound like anything, but they evidently thought it did. So we take off in this very obvious Buick Park Avenue. The next thing you know, we're being chased by this, I'm guessing, 1947 Ford pickup truck that's primer gray. And there are dudes in the back. It was like the Taliban, like I was talking about. There were guys sitting in the back of this thing. And we get to the stoplight at Alma School and Guadalupe. And they're in the back. And Chris does what you're supposed to do when you're driving Dad's park. You stop at the red light, right? They pull up next to us. And I swear to God, 9 very angry Mesa Jackrabbits got out of that thing and attacked the Buick with Ajax and brooms. Cleaning supplies, which made me, as a passenger, scared for my life, and also, this might be the funniest attack of all time. But they had the Jackrabbits flag, and I'll never forget that big, because it's like the Michigan M.
Oh, yeah.
And
it is.
And it said Jackrabbits on it.
When I first saw it.
And I started, but then we told the cop, because the car was all damaged from the Ajax cans. We told the police, he goes, "I know who did this." And he drove us right to their house. And we're in the back of the car, and he's like, "Is that?" We're like, "That's them." And they're just standing there in this big, dumb truck. And that was like right down the street from where I lived, so I couldn't be seen ever again by the Jackrabbits.
Mom,
That's why I fear the Jackrabbits.
And Ajax.
Yeah, I don't use Ajax anymore. I think a couple 409 cans came floating over as well. But it was like, I mean, could they have picked a more stereotypical attack weapon?
Ready at hand.
Brooms and Ajax.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, God. Yeah, using the supplies that were in the truck. And I'm like, oh, man, I can't tell this story. Which kind of the impetus to why I think if I were a murderer and I was a person of color, I would dress up as the most stereotypical thing and kill white people. Because when the in the middle of the day, because when the witnesses start to identify you, the police are going to be like, "Hold on, wait a minute, what did you say?" Yeah, it was a black guy dressed as a slave holding a bucket of Kentucky Fried Chicken. He shot my wife. I'm like, "You're a liar. You're a liar." If I was a black person, I would kill white people all day long, and no one would ever even look for me.
He had a watermelon under his arm.
He's holding a watermelon. He said he'd never pay child support, and he shot my wife. What are you saying? That's all he kept screaming. "I'll never pay for my kids."
You realize we can't.
Son of a bitch! We're not looking for you. He looked like he had buckwheat's hair,
We
had a
can't go to
bone
the
in his
news with
nose.
This.
It's like, well, this is a description you're giving of the murder. Yeah, But then you try to tell the cops that 9 Mexicans attacked us in an old pickup truck with Ajax and brooms. They're like, "All right, what really happened?" I'm like, "Stop it! That's what really occurred."
Cleaning supplies.
Yeah, we got attacked with cleaning supplies, and then he had to tell his dad the car was just all dinged up, but yet smelled very, very clean. What's all this? There seems to be an abrasive cleaner, like for bathtubs and stuff. Yeah, it's all over. They attacked us with Comet and Ajax, Dad.
No, really, Dad.
It was hilarious, but it always makes me think of the Mesa Jackrabbits. So when I saw that story yesterday, first I think clever, and then I think Mesa. So stabby and smart, a dangerous combination. But yeah, Mesa Jackrabbits. I give it to you, kids. And the best part is that I'm right about Mesa, because most normal schools that have an incendiary device they're worried about going off will just go, "All right, kids, we got to find you ways home today. School's canceled." Not Mesa Jackrabbits. They have to keep them, it's like prison transfer. You move the Jackrabbits over to other school. You're not going home. None of you kids are on the loose. That's for sure. We're going to stick you at Westwood, Mountain View. The poor kids at Mountain View were just shaking, trembling.
It's because their parents are on work release. That's why they couldn't let them.
Yeah, because real men were on their way over to the place. 22, 23-year-old high school students were about to invade Mountain View. And yet that little kid with his tuba walking around there beating people. That's bad
Yeah,
news.
why did they send him to? I mean, why
They
just
won't
send
they
him
won't
home?
send him home.
Here's the reason. That's why, because you can't send him home, and they got to put him somewhere. And the new principal at Mountain View is kind of a do-gooder, so he offered.
okay.
He
What does
said,
that mean?
Bring him here. He's just one of those rah-rah type principals.
He's a decent man who doesn't
He's
realize
a
what
decent
he's
man.
doing.
Yeah.
So what did they
The
do?
worst
They
combo.
just sat
Put 'em in the-
around
put
for
'em in
the
the
next
gym
4
and
hours of the
cafeteria.
day?
Exactly. That's exactly what they did. Because Wednesday's early release anyway.
Okay.
So they staged them all at Mountain View, got a hold of their parents, and said you can pick them all up at Mountain View. Which
Let's
made-
be honest. Got a
which
hold of their
made pickup-
parent.
Yeah, which made pickup really fun yesterday at Mountain View.
Yeah, that is a...
What if you're a senior or something and you just can't you jump in your Impala and drive home or what? I mean, or do you have to go to Mountain View too?
Yeah, or someone's Impala.
Mountain View should be spotless, too.
Just hotwire the closest car. You're a Mesa Jackrabbit, for God's sakes.
Mountain View's going under construction right now, Brady, so it was spotless anyway.
Well, they would have had Bruins and
Yeah,
Ajax.
sure they would
I
have.
mean,
That's true.
They're loaded.
Somebody.
John, I went to Mesa, and the auto shop program isn't about fixing cars.
About
You
stealing 'em.
realize that, right? It's about how to hotwire steel catalytic converters in under 3 minutes.
Yep. They have the let's go get some copper 101. Yeah, I fear, and it's not, look, this isn't a thing. This is like meth parents are basic. The poor, look, the valedictorian at Mesa has a C average. That's just, let's be honest. It's okay. Mesa High School scared me from jump, and I'll never, ever let that go. They were the rival scary school.
John-
Derek Zellner wouldn't even play at Mesa just in fear that they knew how to stab him in the
Coach Clark wouldn't let him.
I'm not putting
he was
Zellner
sick
out
that
there
day.
with those kids. They're crazy. All methed up.
John,
Shoot.
shove it up your ass. As a grad of Mesa High, I can say with confidence they produce some of the best landscapers in the valley.
Now, I don't know about all that. But I do know that without it, the distribution of crystal methamphetamine in this city takes quite a hit. Yeah, I mean, it was a tough school. I'm just saying it was a tough school. I played baseball with a lot of kids from Mesa Mountain View, and Tim Brown looked like the lead singer of Men at Work, Colin Hay. I don't know how he did it, but he was like 13 years old, and he looked like lead. His mother wouldn't stop the car to drop him off at baseball practice. She would roll.
Idle.
Tim
Idle
had to
speed.
jump out of this
And
old.
get his gear, too.
And I'm like, you kids at Mesa High are tough as nails. He went to Mesa, and the Westwood kids were envious of how
Westwood
tough
kids
Tim
are
was.
tough.
Tim was just this, like, just stringy white kid. He jumped out of the car. He ended up transferring to Dobbs because I think he got stabbed too many times. But he ended up, his mom would drop him off at baseball practice, and you'd hear, like, this car coming Ida Redbird Elementary School, and we're all sitting there. Here comes Tim. It's like a mile away. Here comes Tim. And the car would pull in the parking lot, screeching almost, but then not stopping. 5-6 miles an hour, the door would open. Tim would roll out, glove would fly out.
So is it
we're
that
ready
she
to go.
couldn't stop it because it would stall, or she couldn't stop it because...
Both. I think she
Probably.
didn't. First off, she had somewhere to be. Probably.
She had 2 hours free while he's at practice.
2 hours free. She was going to another job. Second, I don't think she loved Tim that much. And B, yeah, I think the car stalled if she stopped.
John, I saw this on the news, and I got to be honest, I thought it was a quinceanera, not an evacuation.
All right. See, I'm not being racist. But it did kind of look like that. They evacuated a quinceanera. That would be beautiful. Quinceanera evacuation, all those dresses and gowns. But yeah, I'm tipping my cap to the Mesa Jackrabbits. That was a cool thing to go, hey, just let's pretend we're having a heat stroke and watch these people lose their minds that they're killing kids. They had the bomb threat, and then the kids started to drop out. None of you had heat stroke. And if any of you guys had one, that's American kids in a nutshell. I'm too weak to stand outside. Whoa. There's that Facebook commercial where that kid like says, I'm lost. Like he uses Facebook to tell. And then everybody else on the thing is a freak. And at the end it says, it's okay to be lost. No, it's not. It happens, but it's not okay. It's not an acceptable form of living your life, being lost. And they're trying to tell them, like, oh, it's all right to be lost. Stay lost. No. When you feel lost, do what you can to overcome that. You're going to feel lost. It should be the message. Sometimes you feel lost. You have to adapt and overcome. It's not okay to be lost. It's a thing that happens. It's not unusual to feel lost, but don't live your life thinking, well, this is just fine. It's not. You'll end up feeling lost more often than not if you accept it. It's okay to be depressed, but don't stay depressed. It's all right to feel lost all the time. Just do it. Embrace it.
Find other lost people.
Would you ever tell that to somebody who's in the woods? I've been here for 3 days. I'm so lost. It's okay to be lost. And then just leave them?
Follow your
No,
heart.
they'd kill you.
It would kill you and eat your body. Because
Yeah.
you're like, it is not okay to be lost. Lead me back to not lost.
Maybe it's what happened with that lady hiker earlier in the week. It's okay to be
Yeah,
lost.
somebody told her. It's, you know what, I've seen this Facebook commercial, and the new generation of people
You'll
says
be all right.
it's okay to be lost. I'm going to go somewhere else. Like, what?
But I think I see power lines.
Yeah,
nope.
well, no.
You're not, nope.
It's okay
You're
to
not.
stay lost. You should probably walk a direction you're not familiar with. Idiots. So, Mesa, I'm proud of you. For the first time ever, I say, Mesa Jackrabbits. Great. And no one died, which is a shock when you get angry 3,000 jackrabbits. I'm saying that school scared me to death. We had a Little League game over there at Mesa High. And I was 15. I think it was the last year of Little League. We went over and played on their field. And the team
Different vibe.
Oh, man, I'm telling you, the team we played, that was the fastest group of short people I've ever been around in my life. I was playing shortstop, and I remember we had a pitcher throw to this kid, and he was like 4 feet tall. He was the leadoff hitter. I'm like, don't walk him because he's got no strike zone. First pitch, gone. I'm like, whoa, that kid just jacked it. Ball traveled. The cleanup hitter was even smaller. It looked like the bat was going to crush him. Yeah, gone, center field. I'm like, what are these guys are on some sort of a steroid? We got clobbered by these tiny little people. They just slaughtered us. And I played basically in the Westwood Little League, so we Mesa Light. Anyway, what are you going to do?
You played with Westwood kids?
Yeah, I was in this weird neighborhood that was kind of in between Westwood and Rhodes.
Oh, man.
So I started playing in Little League in the Westwood side. And then I just ended
You
up
have to cross the freeway?
staying there. No, there wasn't one yet.
This guy Cody works for Mesa Public Schools, and he said Westwood is the Guadalupe of Mesa Public Schools.
Is it?
Still?
Yeah.
That's what he
I thought it
said,
was
yeah.
new. I thought it was better.
I don't know.
That's what he's saying.
I went to night school at Westwood.
What?
Yeah, because I had to.
Did you fail Spanish?
Doubling up.
Did you fail Spanish or what?
Spanish. They're like, we'll get it to you. Don't worry. You'll get at least a C. You just be surrounded by it. No, I had to double up all my senior year, and they didn't have enough classes at Dobson, so I had to go to night school at Westwood because I just didn't go to school my junior year. That's how easy high school is. You can do it in a year if you want to.
John, this is Jeremiah.
Uh-oh.
My son gets out of the car from school yesterday, and he looks at me and he says, Daddy, don't ask me to do yard work. My legs are not working today. I said, get your ass to work.
Exactly.
Damn right.
I didn't have an option. I remember once I was asleep on the floor when my dad came home from work and he expected the lawn mowed.
Kicked you?
And before I was awake, I was standing up in the front yard. I had been picked up and put on my feet and moved from floor to outside. And he's just pointing. It's like 130 out. And he goes, I went to work today. You're not going to sleep all goddamn day. Huh? What? Brrr, mower's running. Huh? I don't have any shoes on. I don't care. Okay. And I'm just pushing this thing around with like seeing birds and floaties in my eyes because I'm literally still sleeping. Yeah, that wasn't an option for me to say, I'm a little lost, Daddy. You know where you wouldn't be lost? Doing circles out there in the front yard with that lawnmower. Get on it.
But Saved by the Bell is out.
I'm fascinated by Brady. I never got to pick what we ate. Ever. I still don't think I could go to my mom's house and tell her what we're going to eat. Kirby tells you where you're going to dinner. That's amazing.
Well, we ask her, what do you want?
Yeah.
What are you up for? It doesn't always, Pan's way, but she does
I
have
never had that
influence.
option.
Yeah, I never had that.
I never was asked.
She doesn't.
I was
Every
told
now and
where
then.
we were going.
We would go to Longhorn
I found out where
Steakhouse
we're
in my
going.
Yeah.
hometown.
Yeah. I would say, how about this? And, okay. And then we'd go somewhere else. It was almost like they did it just to say you don't ever get a say. Yeah.
And we do that sometimes.
I was never told yes or
Yeah.
no. It's like, hey, I'd love to go to this place. Mm-hmm. Well, okay, we're going to where you want to go. I see. But my dad wanted something. We got it. That's how that worked. You want Carl's Jr.? No. I'll have a Big Star Burger. Well, we're going to Carl's Jr., aren't we? He just wanted that. We get it. It's 6:09. Let's get a wake-up song. Maybe something for our friends at Mesa High. Very proud of you kids. the duping of the adults and how handcuffed they are to your every move amazes me. Just pretend you're having a heat stroke, and not one teacher can say, knock it off. You can't tell kids that they're wrong now. Get sued like crazy. And you guys hold, by the way, high school kids, you hold all the power. Play pretend you're having a seizure today. 8 of you, 8 or 9 of you, they'll close the school for like 8 days. There was a seizure outbreak. They were all faking. Oh, man, we can't take that risk. They'll close the school for 8 days. If you went out of school for a few weeks, talk to about 12 kids. You don't need to start shooting up everything. Start to talk to other kids about of COVID. Start pretending you got the cold. Like 100 of you go to the nurse in one day going, I can't taste anything, and your school's closed for 2 weeks. Yeah, I got a headache. I don't know what's going on, but I can't taste. And then
you have 10 days off.
And all your friends have to do it. And
this dude's calling you out.
All right.
You guys were afraid of Mesa High?
Yeah.
How big of pusses were you in high school? I know Dobson was full of a bunch of spoiled little bitches, but afraid of Mesa High?
Completely.
So pathetic. Westwood, on the other hand?
Yeah. Look, we weren't unafraid of Westwood. Snobson
just didn't want to look into it.
Snobson was looking at Corona going, hey, sister. That's about.
Corona's always been that way.
That was the other school we looked at like, hey, guys, want to hang? We were the popped collars, whether we wanted to be or not, compared to Westwood and Mesa. Yeah, we were afraid of you. Chandler was on the list, too, but there's no reason to go out there.
To be afraid of Chandler?
The old Chandler High School was horrifying.
Really?
Oh, yes.
The one downtown?
Oh, yeah.
When they changed...
You got to remember, before downtown Chandler was downtown Chandler that it is, it was a cesspool.
It's Shatipa Town now.
It was a demilitarized zone.
It was. Oh, there wasn't a sign in English up there by that school. You go by everything.
Really?
I didn't know what a Mercado was until I went by Chandler High for baseball stuff. We went by Chandler High, and it was like, Mercado... Why are there so many injury accident lawyers over there?
What's a carniceria?
Yeah, what is day-to-day insurance? What is that? Aren't we all day-to-day?
What's with the pinatas?
Oh, there was loads of it. And flag pop-up everywhere. And yeah, before they did whatever they did to downtown Chandler and made Shatipa Town, that place was not, you didn't want to go hang around there. And then that San Marcos resort is
still
just
like
centered in there.
Still
Right in the
like
middle.
about a 2-block area.
Oh, there's areas that they haven't torn down yet, but they haven't figured out how to get new restaurants in, but they will. Because now it's really nice. Downtown Chandler's pretty. They did a nice job, but it's Shatipa Town. If you pay attention to South Park, they took the Shatipa Town and they made like an Indian name out of it.
That's where the Chandler police found the avalanche that
your car
sideswiped my car.
Yeah, the one that. Oh, didn't we drive over there?
Yeah,
didn't we go to the guy's house?
Yeah, we drove by to confirm it.
Didn't we knock on the door, or did we get? We didn't get out.
We didn't get out. We drove by and just confirmed. Yep, that's the
ride. The car that smashed into Brady's car, and we bravely went into that. Because we wouldn't have done that in the 80s and 90s, Brady.
No.
Would have been like, they can have your car. You'd have just dropped your torn-up car there, and they'd have fixed it and kept it. Wake-up song, 585-9800. A good one. We'll scream it together. It's 98 UPD. Wake up!
Whoa, whoa, whoa. What the hell?
98.
I'm not cool with this at all.
KUPD.
You've been listening to Holmberg's Morning Sickness Podcast, brought to you by our friends at Eric's Family Barbecue in Avondale. Meet, mesquite, repeat. Eric'sFamilyBBQ.com.